What up, everybody? Culture 3 review. Culture 3, the newest album by the Migos, hence the glasses. Yeah? No, I don't know, they kind of look stupid. But yeah, I'm a big fan of Migos, big fan of their music, and I thought, you know what? New album out, Culture 3, it's a big one. You know, anticipated for a long time. Why not give a little review on it? This is, of course, a sequel, if you can call it that, to Culture 2, which was a sequel to Culture 1. And I've listened to Culture 3 twice today to get a feel for the songs. You know, ones that I really like, they go on the playlist. Ones that I'm like, they might be okay, I add them to the playlist, then I listen again and get the idea of, is it really something I'm going to listen to, you know, if it comes on the shuffle play. Now, I feel like each of the Culture albums has its own unique feel, its own sort of vibe to it. There is a distinct sort of personality to each one, you know, no Culture album sounds the same. And what I like about Culture 3 is it kind of broadened the horizons with the instruments they're using. You get some sort of jazzy vibes in here, you know, you got the flute in a few songs, you got sax in one of them, in Avalanche, and I like that. It adds that bit of variety, you know, with the rap game, the way it is, you know, there's a lot of samey beats out there, and, you know, the same instruments being used. So I like that the Migos switched it up a little bit here. Now, in terms of songs I added to the playlist, out of the 19 that were in Culture 3, these are the ones I added. So the first one I added was Avalanche. That is actually a single that came out before the day of the release of Culture 3, which was last night for me. And it's good. This is the one I was telling you, it's kind of jazzy. You got a sax going on, it's kind of a slow mellow beat, but you know, they're all just sort of getting on with it, and I like that song. You got Having Our Way featuring Drake, which is, you know, when Drake is on a Migos song, it's kind of similar to the one they had on Culture 2. Drake takes up like the first half of the song, which is understandable because obviously you've got 3 Migos and then 1 Drake, and Drake is like the biggest artist out there, so you can't really have him just having a verse and then it's split like 4 ways on the song. So he kind of has, you know, the first half of the song, and then he also does the chorus. I like the dynamic, though. It worked for me, and it's a bop. You know, if it came on in the club, I think everyone would be like, yeah, it's a good song. I added Straightening, but that came out like 2-3 weeks ago. I mean, that's a pretty good song. It's one of them, I listened to it, you know, a few times when it first came out, but it kind of, you know, it's not one I'm going to listen to regularly and one that really, you know, sort of catches my attention, but it's a good song regardless. Malibu featuring Polo G, pretty good song. That's one of those, it's a club type song, you know, it's got a hard beat. Lyrically, it's nothing too special for me, but, you know, the beat is good, and every now and then, you know, I mean, a lot of the time in rap music, you need the songs that aren't necessarily all that in terms of lyrics. They just got a good flow going on. It's something that, you know, in the car, turn the volume up, get that dial going up, and, you know, it's one of those ones. Birthday, that's kind of similar in a sense. It's one of them, you're going to crank the music up. It kind of gave me a Tiger type beat. You know, it's something you're definitely going to hear in the club, I feel like, if the clubs knew how to play decent music, that is. I mean, a lot of the times they just play the same shite every time. But a good club, I feel, would play Birthday. It's a good song. Picasso featuring Future, you know, Future, the GOAT. Now, he's good on this. They had a nice flow, Future and the Migos. I don't actually know if I've heard them on a song together before, but that was nice that he got in there and he sort of did the chorus, and the way they sort of flowed back and forth with each other, it was kind of seamless, and I like that. What You See featuring Justin Bieber, I added that as well. I mean, it's nothing too special. JB barely has any sort of influence. He does like a very short chorus. It's just one of them. They were like, you know what, we need a white boy's voice on the song here, you know, just to, you know, do this chorus bit, make it all, you know, romantic sort of. I'm just checking the name of the song again. It's What You See, you know, it's kind of a love song. JB's fine on it, and it was decent, but it might be one of them that I would probably skip on most shuffles, to be honest. Jane, I mean, this is just, it's just, if you've heard Jane, it's just one of those songs. It's like, you know, the chorus is like Takeoff talking about Birkin bag, you know, just saying Birkin bag like 10 times in a row. And I heard it, it's like, I knew what it was as soon as I hear it. It's like, okay, I like it though. It's just talking about the Birkin bag, you know, whether she deserves it. It's the moral, isn't it? It's the big question throughout society. Does she deserve the Birkin bag? She wants it. Does she deserve it? Antisocial featuring Juice WRLD. This was cool. You know, it's nice, you know, that they kind of use this music from artists that are sadly no longer around. I'm a fan of Juice WRLD, and it's nice to see that they used, you know, his work in their song, and, you know, they make it work. They make it flow. Obviously, I'm not really sure how they produce it or what the whole deal is with how they operate in terms of doing that. But I enjoyed it. I liked it. They did a similar thing with Pop Smoke as well. I'm not huge on Pop Smoke's particular beat. Of course, that is no disrespect to him. It's just not quite my cup of tea. But I know it is very popular, and you know, it was a very clear Pop Smoke beat. You know, before you'd even heard anyone sing on the song, you hear the beat and you go, "This is Pop Smoke. This is definitely his sort of thing." But to be fair, it did definitely, you know, it worked well, and the Migos sort of flow with it. You know, they hopped on that beat really well, and it worked. You know, it was a nice sort of experiment, I'd say. But it worked for sure. Now I added a couple more called Mahomes and Handle My Business. These songs were not really standouts, but they were just sort of a classic good Migos song. There's a good flow going on. There's a good like classic Migos beat, North Atlanta, all that. Kind of them at their typical best in a sense, where they're mentioning, you know, like grandma's cooking, trapping in grandma's basement, someone showing money in the background. But you know, I liked it. It's one of them I'd probably skip half the time, but the other half when it comes, I'd be like, you know what, this is a decent beat. It's decent. It's classic Migos. They're going back and forth. Why not? Leave it playing. Now, my favorite song on the album is Time for Me. This is just a great song. Quavo's flow is exceptional on this song. This is one of them. Is more of a slower song where they're kind of singing more than rapping, and it's the one I've listened to the most. Whenever I feel like I want to listen to a bit of music today, at least I'm thinking, okay, I want to put that song on first, and I'll probably come back to it a few songs later. It's really solid, and I feel like it's the Culture 3 version of Top Down on the North, which was on Culture 2. That was my favorite song on the album, and it's probably my favorite Migos song in general. And this was similar. This was a similar vibe, a bit of a slower song. They're singing more than anything. The only thing for me was I feel like Quavo and Offset, they flow very well with each other. Like at one point, Offset takes over from Quavo. You know, it just sort of flows very, very smoothly. But then when it comes to Takeoff, you know, his voice is a lot more distinct. So when he takes over, it can sort of feel like it didn't quite suit the song. But that's no disrespect. Maybe just I would have, for Takeoff, had him sort of do his verse in like a lower tone, like he did on Top Down on the North. But this is me nitpicking. This was a really good song. I don't know why I'm nitpicking it, to be fair. It's the best song on the album. But I think that's why, for me, maybe it's just not quite up there with Top Down. You know, it's very close, though. It's a good song, and it's definitely my favorite. And at the end of the album, you had Need It featuring NBA Youngboy. This came out like a couple months ago. I think we all assumed it was going to be on Culture 3. Hence why they put it at like the bottom of the album, you know, because it's the one that's been out for the most time. Need It is a really good song though. When that came out, that was a bop, so to speak. That was a really good song, really good flow. As I was saying, when people just sort of take over each other's flows, that was a really good dynamic on that song. How you had NBA and Offset on the first part of the song, and then you had Quavo and Takeoff on the second part. But yeah, that's a great song. That's another song that should really be playing in the clubs. I hope when the clubs open, they are playing songs like this. And, you know, I feel like a lot of the time they play too much trap music. And I'm talking about British trap, not American trap. I kind of I prefer American music anyway, to be fair. So I'd like them to play some stuff like this. I think it'd be nice. But you know what Pink Panthers are like. They just play Queen and I don't know, crap, basically. But yeah, Culture 3, it's a good album, to be fair. It's one of them, as soon as you start listening to a new Culture album, or a new album from an artist you like, you're instantly comparing it to their old work, and when you listen to it the first time, it doesn't seem sufficient. It doesn't seem like it's good enough. But for me, this is a very good follow-up after listening to it a couple of times, sort of letting it settle. I think overall my favourite album is probably still Culture 2, but this is probably level with Culture 1 at the moment. I mean, Culture 1 has some absolute classics, but this, I do like the variety on it. I do like how it switched it up. So yeah, in conclusion, all the songs I mentioned I think are the best ones and worth listening to. Some of them could be dropped if I had to, you know, cut it to like 5 songs. But ones I wasn't too big a fan of was Type Shit. I mean, it's featuring Cardi B. I mean, no offense to Cardi, but it's one of them. When she hops on the song, it's just not really worth playing. God, it sounds so mean. It's not often that I hear her on a song and I'm like, I'm glad she was on the song. Do you know what I mean? A lot of the time it's just like, I kind of wish she wasn't on the song. You know, the Migos did their part well, but I just wasn't quite feeling the song anyway. Roadrunner, Why Not? I wasn't really feeling them that much. I feel like they were a bit like, you know, some of the other songs where I say it's like a typical Migos song, but it just didn't quite get going as much, or, you know, the flow wasn't as good, or the beat wasn't as good, so it just didn't really seem worth adding in it. I feel like it would have been something that I probably would have just skipped. But yeah, everything else, worth listening to. It's a very good album, to be fair. You know, I'm more than satisfied with it. You know, you always worry with this much build up, this much hype, is it going to live up to it? It did for me. I feel like it's definitely got a few more listens. I need to listen to this with some friends, you know, see how it plays in a car, see if it's something, you know, you can all sort of get into the mood. But yeah, Culture 3, have you heard it? What do you think about it? Did you like it? What's your favourite song? Where do you think it ranks with Culture 1, Culture 2? And I wonder, will there ever be a Culture 4? Maybe one day, we'll see. Either way, thank you all very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this music review. It's been fun to talk about. It's nice to review something a little different. So yeah, thank you all for watching, and I'll see all of you in the next video.